What is up, everybody? I am Haxio Elite. Today we are going to design our own micro level. Now, what I mean by micro level, it's not a full-blown level for a game. It's a micro level. Now, you make many of these micro levels and you can add them together to make a full-blown level. But what we're going to do over the course of the next couple of videos is we're going to take this micro level, which we're going to start working on here today, just to give you an idea of what you can do with this game engine, and we're going to expand upon that. We're going to expand upon that till we have a full-blown playable level. Now, this game engine that we're using, it's called GameGuru. What's so special about that? Whether or not you may or may not have heard of it. GameGuru claims to allow you to create your own games with no coding required. That's right, no coding whatsoever. Now, from what I have looked at, which mind you, I have yet to read any documentation on this, so I am jumping into this along with you. Now, I will not lie. In the spirit of transparency, I did play the demo version of this game engine for maybe an hour, just to kind of poke around with it a little bit. And I tell you what, I have yet to read any documentation on designing or creating levels with this, and I've made a few pretty cool things just in the demo. Now, from what I can tell already, the full version is much, much better. It is more stable, better performance, better graphics, and it renders a lot quicker. Now, I'm telling you, again, GameGuru has had some bum reviews. I have read many of them, and it has had a few good reviews. So overall, it's got pretty mixed reviews. Just what I have seen and used of it so far, I'm telling you guys, I am hooked already. Now, I do have a bit of a coding background, but you know what? With GameGuru, none of that comes into play, because we are going to work on designing our levels to create our full-blown playable game, a 3D first-person shooter with no coding whatsoever. Now, it relies heavily on a lot of Luau scripts, and if you're familiar with the Luau coding or scripting language, then you can even write and edit and import your own scripts if you like to give the game engine more functionality. Me personally, Luau is one thing that I am not familiar with. So again, I am jumping into this with you in the spirit of fake it till you make it, if that's what you want to call it. Because by the time we're done creating our first full level in this game, or in this game engine, you are going to look like you are a completely knowledgeable game level designing geek. Now, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look and see some of the functionality, what we can do. So first we're going to go ahead and select our terrain tool. And that is this little triangular cone looking thing at the top. Now, right now, we're just raising the terrain a bit. We're going to create some little hills and some mountains. And this will actually end up being the outline for our little island here. Now, I know it doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but again, the further we dive into it, you're going to see it coming together a whole lot more. Just kind of rotate around here, get a better angle on it. Do a little connecting here. Go back and we're going to add a little bit more features to it, a little more terrain. Now we're just kind of slicing them just a bit to narrow them down. Go ahead and add a little more in here. Now the thing about this particular tool here is if you actually click and hold on an area, that whole area will just keep rising and rising and rising. So you can make a very large mountain peak with this. So what we're doing here, we're just giving a little bit of texture to the island. As you can see, it's already kind of coming together. It doesn't look much like an island per se as of right now. But again, the further we dive into this, the more and more it's going to come together. And you're going to kind of see where we're going. And I'm telling you right now, in this particular micro level, and I call it a micro level because what you see here, with the exception of what you're going to see by the end of this this video, or in this video series, because it can take a couple of episodes to get this total thing done. But I'll tell you what you're going to see is, from a beginner standpoint in game design, it's phenomenal. Now I'll tell you what, it's going to look like you spent months and months designing and creating this. But in all actuality, if you're actually go back and watch these videos for this particular micro level and do what I do and follow along, it'll take you about an hour or so to actually make this full micro level. Now again, what we're going to do in coming videos is we're actually going to go back to this micro level and we're going to expand upon it. So it's no longer going to be a little micro level. It's going to end up becoming a full-blown level, complete with characters. Other than just our own character, we can add some antagonists. We can add some other friendlies to it. We can do a whole lot of different things with this. We may even take and add even a few more buildings, possibly. But this particular micro level that we're working on today is just to give you an idea of what this game engine is actually capable of. And you can actually get a lot of downloadable content with this. Like the company that offers this, they offer also offer extra character packs and asset packs and things like that you can always import into these and give your game engine a lot more functionality, a lot more originality, I guess. No, that's not right. It's not original. Yes, it is original. You know what? Shut the hell up. I'm going to shut up. It is original because you are doing it. And even if you follow along and do exactly what I'm doing right now, your level, your micro level, will be an original because it will not be exactly like mine. Every time someone does this, it's going to be original. Now, again, with those extra asset packs, you'll get more, assets. Assets being your buildings, weapons, expendables. You know, you can get crates and boxes and things of that. There's just so many different things that you can get with it. It is a really good investment for the beginner or novice programmer or someone who has literally no game design education or experience under their belt whatsoever. They can actually take this software here and create their own level, create their own games. You know, you create several different levels, you have a game. If you have a beginning, a middle, and an end, you have a game. Now, are you going to make the next AAA blockbuster hit with this game engine? Probably not. But I tell you what, you can sure as hell have some fun and learn a little bit of something about different aspects of game design. Not so much into coding, because again, this engine doesn't require any coding to work. Or on your part to work, I should say. So, but you'll get that creative process going, get those creative juices flowing to come up with the next idea. And trust me, just from the little bit of time that I did mess around with the demo before I decided to go all in and purchase the full version of this, I was already hooked. My creative juices have been flowing. I will drive down the highway and I will look over to a hillside and I'll say, you know what? That's a damn good looking tree line. I know it sounds funny. I know it sounds crazy, but the same thing will happen to you. Once you get into it, you're going to see things that you never really paid attention before. And you're going to say, you know what? I got an idea for that. I'm going to make something that looks like that to add in it. So you could actually create your own levels based off of real places. And it doesn't have to be places you've been to physically yourself. It can be places that you have just seen online. Now what I'm doing right now is we're going to go ahead and jump in and take a quick walkthrough on it, so we can kind of get a general idea of what we got going on here so far. Now, as you see, just the last 10 or 12 minutes or so, just a little bit of poking around here and there, dragging, just using 2 tools. This is what we've come up with so far. And see this big empty green expanse that you're looking at right now, that will soon become our ocean, complete with waves, tides, and ripples. There we go. Now I'll tell you what, to be a novice game engine, it's got some really damn good graphics. I mean, if you look at the waves, then you can actually see the reflections. You can adjust those reflections. You can adjust the ripple effect. You can adjust the direction of the currents and the size of the ripples in the ocean. You can adjust the color of the water. So, while this game engine may not compare to those absolute professional engines that cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars a month in subscription fees that these big time companies use, like look at that water. That looks real. Now we're going to touch up, of course, around the edges a bit and smooth things out a little bit more. But that looks good. And there we are. We've got a nice turquoise aqua color, a nice deep blue. Hell, we can even make it a purple ocean. Or if you are more for that jade green, we got that too. So there's lots of features that you can do in here. And to be a novice game engine compared to the big time professional game engines, I tell you what, you can't beat it. I'm not going to lie, I've seen some of those high dollar game engines. There we are adjusting some of the ripples and the reflections. But I've seen some of those high dollar game engines. And I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm definitely got all giddy beside myself like, hey, I want that. I've got to have that. But you know what? I don't have that kind of money to dish out. I am not going to go dish out $299 a month for a professional subscription to it. I'm not going to dish out even a one-time charge of $500 or $600 or more when I really don't know what I'm doing yet. Are you with me on that? I'm sure you can understand that. It would be good. Yes, you could get it. If you have the money, then by all means, snatch one up, especially if you catch it on sale. Snatch that shit up. And when you do, you work at it and you work at it and you work at it until you learn it to where you can do something like this almost as easy or almost as quick in that high dollar software as you can do with this. But if you want to just toy around for a little bit and teach yourself, learn, then something like this is right up your alley. And again, I cannot stress enough, I have yet to even, that's a beautiful sunset. I have yet to even read the first getting started guide about this software. I have yet to watch the first tutorial video about this software. That is how easy it is to learn. Now, do I know everything about it already? No. I'm sure there's a few things that I'm missing. I'm sure there's a few things that maybe have a better way or an easier way to accomplish. But from what I have come through and got to level-wise so far, by not even reading nothing, should show you there's literally no learning curve to this. If you can draw with your mouse and click your button, you can learn this software. And I'll tell you what, I do thank you for joining me. That's going to wrap up this first episode. Join me in the next episode as we dive back into this and we do a little more editing and another walkthrough on this level. Just stick with us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate you for watching. I am Haxio Elite.